I was 4 years old, I wanted to be a waitress. You see, I loved The Princess and the Frog, and the whole waitressing aspect felt so enticing to me. It didn't last very long because I was young, and every job was the coolest job in the world to me. I kept switching back and forth between careers until I was 7 years old. I had just finished watching Harry Potter when it hit me. I loved acting. Not only that, I just loved film in general. I was hooked. This was it. This was the job that was going to give me everything I ever wanted in life. In year 3, we were discussing future careers in school, and I mentioned acting. A classmate quickly responded, "But that's not a real job." From then on, it felt like every remark, every question was an attempt to simply blow off my plans. But what do you really want to do? It's a really tough industry to get into, you know? And, of course, what's your backup plan? Let's imagine we have two people, person A and person B. Now, person A wants to be an engineer, whilst person B wants to be a singer. When talking to people about their future aspirations, person A's career would be more highly regarded. But why is this? And what are the actual benefits of these two very different jobs? While it's true, engineers do get paid a lot more than singers. In order to achieve that salary, you have to actually become an engineer. Performing arts schools and courses have an average dropout rate of 32%, whereas engineering schools and courses have an average dropout rate of 50%. So person B's job doesn't pay well. Does that make it a bad job? And person A's job is hard to achieve. Does that make it a bad job? No. Why? For obvious reasons. These are two very different people, and they like two very different things. But in order to have a completely successful career, they do need the other benefits. So it's very simple. Just find a job you love, has good work-life balance, pays well, good benefits, good job security, and makes you enjoy coming to work every day. How do we achieve this? Well, let's go from the very start. Why do we actually like these jobs? We'll use the example of person B, who wants to be a singer. Now, singing is a very creative job. It's all about creating a sound and sharing it with the world. So we've already identified two aspects, creativity and musicality. Now, person B also writes their own music and edits it, which will open up a world of opportunities to them. While singing may not be the most stable job, there are plenty of jobs within the music industry that offer the joy and creativity of singing, along with higher financial stability. For example, session singers. Now, session singers are people who often act as a support to the main act. They tour around the world, add their voices to the next big hit, and have endless opportunities to lend their voice to TV. There's also sound design, songwriting, and even Foley artists, who are people that make those little sounds you hear in the back of TV. Now, wanting to be a singer doesn't have to be about the physical act of singing. It can be about enjoying all the aspects of music. If person B is interested in music truly, they could find more than just singing. But if they want the job just for the salary or the fame, they're going to fail because they won't have the passion to stick around with it when it gets tough. I thought of all the things I loved about drama. Then I connected it to law, specifically criminal law, and eventually to criminal psychology. It pays well, and there's always going to be clients. Even though I'd found two fields I'd happily go into, I still wasn't happy. It felt like I was sacrificing one for the other, like I was turning my back on my dream because it was too hard. I struggled with this idea a lot and the feeling that maybe I wasn't good enough. That's when I realized, wanting to have a safe and secure option does not mean giving up. That's why the phrase, "what's your backup plan?" can feel so uncomfortable. It's saying not only is your job unachievable, but any other job you pursue is not what you really want to do. There are 45 distinct professions in the music industry, including lesser-known ones. These range from entertainment lawyer to a DJ. The music industry contributes $170 billion to the US GDP, as well as around 9.8 million in global exports. Of all those careers and all the money contributed, the music industry is made up of only 10 to 15% of singers. If the music industry was built solely on singers, then it would collapse. If person B does the right amount of research, they could find countless jobs that they would love to go into. And if person B has the right amount of passion, they could get any of those jobs that they wanted to. Every single career is important. They will contribute to our world and help it work. But careers do not define anything about us. They do not define our intelligence. They do not define our value. And having a harder job does not make you a better person. Having passions and interests should open up worlds to us. They shouldn't lock us in a tiny space where we feel guilt for leaving. Having big dreams doesn't make them unachievable. It makes them the push and spark we need to start our dream life.